safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A big surprise for some parents in
You say Ron Coleman?
A school bus provider north of Missoula is charged with possession and intent.
What would you do, Ron Coleman?
So I thought you couldn't get to work.
No.
You would do hometown release?
Correct.
Tested positive for meth, as well as the garage where the vehicles are kept. Investigators say the buses will receive a professional cleaning and then be checked again for any signs of meth residue before being allowed to once again transport school children. Tom Graham, Fox News.
A salmonella scare surrounding pre-cut melon sold at stores like Trader Joe's, Walmart, and Whole Foods. Officials say the culprit appears to be Cato Foods of Indianapolis. At least 60 people have been sickened in several states. Toxicology tests will be carried out on Anthony Bourdain. The body of the famous chef, writer, and TV personality was found yesterday hanging inside a hotel bathroom in France. Meantime, tributes to Bourdain can be found on television and beyond.
Anthony Bourdain's favorite episode, with Parts Unknown, will be the centerpiece of CNN's tribute to the late celebrity chef. Saturday night at 8 p.m. Bourdain died of apparent suicide Friday. On Sunday, the network will air the previously scheduled Berlin episode of the series at 9 p.m. Fans don't have to wait until then. Bourdain left plenty of episodes of the series and his previous series, no reservations online, and besides his many contributions to the Food Network on shows like A Cook's Tour and others. Bourdain also made appearances in everything from The Simpsons to Archer to Yo Gabba Gabba. Michelle.
Hold that door.
Fox News.
The deaths of Bourdain and fashion designer Kate Spade just days before are highlighting a troubling trend. A report is
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining us with Real Estate with Ryan. If you guys haven't tuned in a couple weeks, or maybe have been watching last week, or out.
Yes, we were.
Out. It was my birthday.
It was.
So we had to take a break. So glad you are joining us. I'm Ryan Coleman, along with my lovely co-host, April Coleman.
Good morning.
Hey, thank you, John. So as time is upon us, it's June, and we got a good show for you today. Have some housekeeping issues, kind of go over some market stats of what we're facing here in the market, what to expect. Summer has just started, so we're going to be 6 months into the year. And so we're going to kind of look at what the spring market has done and where we're going on the summer start. Inventory, active, solds. Been a busy week, and a lot of clients staying where they need to be.
I know, you got it.
What's on your mind today, April?
Well, today I just want to let everybody know about our new listings, our pending, solds, good stuff like that. It's a long list since we haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so I just want to get them out there so that everybody knows about them. Tallaluna Avenue under contract, Andalusian Way about to close, Wilkerson under contract, Seville Pike back on the market, so their loss or gain. So don't forget that out in 37920. And then we have Archer Road is out in 37918. It's a new construction house if you want to go check that out. We have Loftus Creek back on the market in 37924, their loss year gain. So check that one out, cute house. And we have a price drop on Rockwell Farm Lane in Farragut. We have a pending on Sunset Drive, Colby Station, Hearthstone in 37923 is a price reduce as well. We have some of our past clients that are buying a house on Jenkins Road. Congratulations to them. And we have a pending on Riverport Way in Pigeon Forge, a price drop, Holly Oakley Drive in Gatlinburg. They dropped the price a lot, so don't forget that one. We have a new listing, Oak Road in Norris, Cute little place. And then we have a pending Wayne Place in Oak Ridge. Congrats to them. And Whippoorwill in Oak Ridge, they did a price drop. So that's a nice little neighborhood. Check that one out. Water's Edge Way in Lenore City, they did a price drop, and so did Lakewood. So catch them while they're hot. We also pended Fredericksburg Boulevard land, and we also pended Windswept Drive. So a couple people are going to be building. Fantastic. Okay, so the new ones that are coming on the market, it's Brown Gap Road. Well, it hit the market actually. And then we have Bear Paw Way in Sevierville. They actually just hit the market. And then coming soon is Park Grove Lane in 37921, Sands Road Land in Sweetwater, John Sevier Drive in Sevierville, Whaley Lane 37920. And then Walden Avenue in Harriman, and then we have 4 cabins up in Gatlinburg on Opal Hills, and then 6 cabins in Sevierville, and more to come.
Busy, busy, busy week.
Yes. So if you're interested in any of those, give us a call and we can give you more information on it.
So we got a good show for you today. Thank you for staying tuned. And as with the market is booming, and as you can see if you're a buyer in this marketplace, the challenge is to finding a new home. Sellers are moving well, and then there's some sellers that are still there setting, and we need some adjustments.
Right.
And you wonder why that is. So our topic today is why home sales prices and rising mortgage rates are not enough to stop sales.
That's right.
So
Figure that out today.
we're talking about that as the market is upon us. We've seen the rates. We were chatting before the show, April. What was it, 21 times since January?
Right.
Rate hikes. So 21 times this year, the most seen since what, 1972, 1973?
Yes.
In a one-year period?
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys, real estate is a market, it's a cycle. And understanding those cycles, hopefully where you're tuning in to us, we give you the expert advice here and keep you understanding where we're at in the market, especially in our East Knoxville market, Easttown Knoxville market, metropolitan area, whether you're in Blount County, Sevierville, you name it, Loudon. This area is booming, but there's some market indicators that we need to watch. We need to make sure that with these kind of rate hikes, where are we projecting going out? We know real estate's in cycles. So what things are telling me right now, and things, one of the articles that we were talking about, mortgage rates hit the highest point in 7 years last month, and home prices have jumped 6.5% since mid-2017.
Mm-hmm.
On the West Coast, many of the cities are seeing double-digit gains in home appreciation, and the home buying is still not slowing down.
No, it's not. We're going to figure out why.
Let's go specifically, before we get into that, how our backyard here in the Knoxville area and how that's important, and what more specifically is happening in our backyard. So sold listings, this is going to be in the month of May, year to date, 2017 compared 74-72. All right. 2018, 77-08. So there's a 3.2% increase from sold listings year to date this time last year. Okay. Pending sales, this is exciting. 2017, 85.90. 2018, 92.78.
Wow.
8% gain in properties that are going on the market.
Wow.
And we'll tell you how that relates and how that can tie into either your home if it's on the market, or if you're thinking about purchasing, how that's important. Active listings on the market. 2017 was 19,490.
Mm-hmm.
2018, 18,656.
Oh, wow.
So a 4.3% drop.
Okay.
And then, of course, new listings, comparison, similar to 2017 and 18, not much of a difference. 11,780 for 2017, 11,771 in 2018, 8.1%.
Interesting.
So very, very low. What we're seeing, 3.2% overall in our market, 8% pending,
Mm-hmm.
and then active listings are down about 4.3%. Now that's to go over some items where we said that some economists said we're down 8 or 9% inventory down to last year. I know those numbers change as
Mm-hmm.
first part of the year to where we're at now, but what we're seeing I think more specifically, if the home is priced right, marketed right by the right agents, we're seeing pendings at an all-time high. They're
Right.
moving them up, and I think that's in one of the articles that we were chatting with, that home buyers are snatching those properties up.
They are.
More specifically, I think what you have to understand is as the rates in the economy moves, we know the jobs are at the all-time low, unemployment's at all-time low. You know, job growth is expanding under the new president and everything that's going on. The exciting part of that is that does not seem to be stopping the buying. That's why we wanted to tie this into this topic today and our future show, what we've got coming up next week. And so where the economy is now, mid part of the year, and where we're planning to go here in the next year. April and I were chatting about that. I think it's safe to see, and some of the quote experts are, nobody really knows, but I think it's safe to see that at the end of the year or trailing into 2019, we're probably expecting rates to be over 5%. Easily, that's probably a given.
Yes, that's true.
And they're worrying about hedging on inflation and what we need to do, and obviously don't want to get into another housing bubble or crisis there.
Right.
So those are some things to look at, and I think more importantly, will the rates slow the housing cycle? I think that's something that we were talking about as of here recently, just in May. What was that article saying, April?
I can't remember what the article said.
You're in trouble.
I don't know.
Shouldn't do it homework. Sure? That's the challenge, and that's the challenge where we're at now, is that the lack of inventory, part of the pending sales and things that we were talking about, maybe are not because of the market overall, it's just lack of inventory. You know, with the lack of inventory, there's just not enough inventory to go around, so buyers are snatching them up. And that's what we're tying into the article today about the rates. You know, good old Rocky Top, we gotta love this area. There's a lot of people why people come to this state. That's why I came to this state. You know, my family moved over to this area. My uncle played ball for UT. And there's just so many things that this great state has to offer. You know, no state taxes. It's ranked, Forbes rated, I don't know what number we're rated, but it's one of the best retirement areas in the country. And what do we have? Just Nashville is one of the hottest real estate markets in the state.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Chattanooga wasn't far behind. I think we're rated number 7.
I think Memphis is a little.
So I think what you're seeing is as the economy's booming and jobs are growing, you're seeing a lot of people that are taxed, overburdened and taxed just out the gazoo, and they're leaving. They're picking up their stuff and leaving. Although where jobs in your blue belts, like what John was saying, those jobs are coming back. And so you're seeing a lot of transfer. I think the real estate market overall is healthy. And I think in this area, I think we're seeing a lot of new construction at an all-time high. I think our biggest competitor right now will be new construction. You know, whether a seller do they buy new construction or a resale. And I think sellers on the market today, they have to understand that if we're going to be competitive in the marketplace, we have to take in count new construction. Because see, the builders can do so much more with that house, and bonus incentives and closing costs and all these different things that are added into the deal that the seller sometimes just can't.
Right.
And they're building them at cost to have, some of these builders are tract builders. So I think, John, I think we're going to see in the next 16 months or 18 months, I think we're going to still see a strong market, but I think we're going to see the raising of rates. I think you're going to still see some job loss. We're experiencing minor, but you're seeing jobs be smarter and delegate, outsource, and you're seeing movement on different plants, and that's affecting some people. We just had 2 clients that we met with this week that there was changing on that. So I think the market's always going to be ebb and flow, and they're always going to be moving. I don't see any site where the housing market has a lack of inventory. And even if the rates go to 6%, we're spoiled. The rates have been That's a good interest rate. You know, my uncle said, yeah, back in the, my ex-wife filed divorce with me back in the 80s, and she had to do it when it was in the 18%. I was like, oh, that's not a good time. So, you know, we've seen those rates, and so I don't think it's anything to get nervous about it, but April and I were chatting about that, and I think we saw this week that the mortgage rates, applications for refinances and purchase have declined.
Right, yes.
And what you'll see there with that is that half a point, and we were talking about that now, how much could that factor in? And we'll get on the other side of the break, but if the rates do go up, how much would that affect your payments? Mm-hmm. Some economist says it could jump your payments 10 to 15%. And that is going to take some people out of the market. We're going to talk a lot more than just that, and so much more before we go into the break. Thank you guys for staying in Real Estate with Ryan, and stay with us. We got this break in. Be right with you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Marshall Stewart, Operations Manager here at the radio station for King Pure Water. If you're spending any money every month on buying bottled water or bagged ice, you owe it to yourself to call King Pure Water at 266-9566 and have Ken King, the owner of King Pure Water, come out to your home and do an absolutely obligation-free water test on your water. We found out at our house that we were pretty much drinking right out of the swimming pool because we had so much chlorine in our water. Ken designed a system, including a dechlorinating system, that got rid of all the impurities from our water. Now we're drinking the cleanest, purest water we've ever had, and more of it, by the way. Our bathing water, it seems wetter. It's really hard to explain on the radio, but it truly is, because chlorine's a drying agent, so it's not drying you out, especially during the harsh winter months. Our dishwasher is cleaner than ever. Matter of fact, you can see yourself in the stainless steel instead of it being cloudy and murky. Call today, 266-9566. 266-9566. The systems are very affordable, and nobody beats a King Pure Water deal. Ken King guarantees it.
Being in the business over 20 years in real estate with over 1,000 homes sold.
There's really no one else who is more committed to your success than us here at Hometown Realty.
We're here every Saturday morning with Real Estate with Ryan.
You know, since I'm a regular customer, you may want to consider changing up to Real Estate with Ryan and April.
Good one. I'll take that into consideration. Remember, for the latest information in the real estate market, join us every Saturday, 11 o'clock here on Talk Radio, 92.3 AM 760. If you need me directly, 693-SOLD or RyanColeman.org.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
Thank you guys for staying with us on social media. Hope you have a good show today. We're talking about the home prices are rising, and it's not stopping sales, so we went over some stats, and we got some special stuff for you after social media. And thank you for staying with us on a Saturday. Any questions you guys got? 865-888-TALK. 865-888-TALK. Me and April are here in the studio, and we'll answer any real estate questions that you might have.
Hey Knoxville, Laura Ingram here. Thinking about selling your home with all the headaches that most people experience? Well, not all real estate agents operate the same. You have someone right here in your own backyard you can trust if you need to sell your home. I'm talking about Ryan Coleman of Hometown Realty. His system outmarkets and outsells 99% of other agents in the Knoxville area. Ryan spends thousands of dollars every week on marketing, and he drives more buyers to your home, resulting in a home selling faster and for more money. Ryan has been voted by Knoxville Sentinel as one of the best realtors in your area. What I like is when you call Ryan, you get Ryan. You're not passed off to another agent. On such a big decision like selling your home, you can't afford not to have a hometown expert like Ryan on your side. And don't worry about getting stuck owning 2 homes or no home at all. Ryan guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline acceptable to you, or he'll buy it himself. How cool is that? You can also listen to Ryan right here every Saturday on Talk Radio 92.3 FM and AM 760, or just call Ryan directly at 693-SOLD. That's 693-7653, or go to RyanColeman.org and start packing.
We're talking real estate with Ryan Coleman of Hometown Realty. Join the conversation on the Pure Magic Hotline at 865-888-TALK. Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 716.
Thank you guys for staying with us, and we're talking about the housing pricing, raising rates, and will that affect us? It's not stopping sales, and we were talking about the affordability factor regarding that. And the economists or the specialists or experts, quote experts, what they're saying is that, probably what you're going to see the push in is the first-time home buyer market, maybe your move-up buyer, that when they go up 0.5%, we're seeing almost, I don't know the exact number, I think it was 8%, or 0.8% decline in applications and refinance.
Yes,
but once you actually go above that half-point rate increase, a lot of people start looking in the marketplace and really start thinking whether we're going to rent or we're going to buy, and what really makes sense to them in the open market. And I think that's what we're talking about now, and why it's so important that we're giving you these numbers and how we're going to gauge that. We have it, let's go ahead and do it now before we always run out of time. Next week, and April and I talked about that, we're going to do it live right here, Talk Radio. Big show. We're going to promote it heavy this week. So with our president this year, he's been in office exactly 18 months, I think, pretty close to that. And so we had a year and a half of him in office, and what more specifically with where we're at in the market, you hear all kinds of news of what's going on with the economy, job growth, unemployment levels are at the lowest, and we're seeing a lot of movement. So our show, we're going to incur a lot of talk in, is what we're specifically wanting to see. What's your thoughts? How has that affected the real estate market, and where do we see it going here in the next couple of years to 2020 and beyond?
And if it's affected you.
And has it affected you at all? As job growth numbers, things like that. More specifically with the real estate market, but we want you to chime in and make sure that we're going to have that on social media, and we're going to have it on Periscope, we're going to have it everywhere, but more specifically, it's going to be right here on Talk Radio. Now guys, you're out there in the car, you got any questions on real estate, if you're thinking of putting your home on the market, thinking about buying, something that we're not talking about today or we've talked about in the past that may be helpful for you, 865-888-TALK, 865-888-8255. So, what we'll see here is when the rates do go up, and pricing is really everything in the market, and understanding that when the market's hot, we want to ride that market. We were talking beginning part of the year when we were doing these shows, and understanding kind of getting in front of the marketplace. The spring market, the February market, we were really working hard because we want to get our clients that are thinking about selling out in front of the pack. We want to get them out there where there's limited inventory and buyers were able to move quickly. Now, as now the spring and summer is past, now summer is starting upon us, there's a little bit of a crunch.
Right.
So we're going to be facing now where there's kids going back to school, prom just ended, vacations are big, everybody needs one. So there's a lot of things going on in the summer. Kids are out of school, so now there's any kind of movement regarding the kids and schools and relocations. These 60 and 90 days are crucial.
Yes, they want to get it all in before they're...
Now, I get some sellers now. Listen, I get some sellers, and I want to encourage everybody that says, well, I'm not in a rush. And I understand that, Mr. Seller. But we are in a rush to get the most money.
Right.
And so everybody keep in mind that there's two parties to the transactions. It takes two to tango. And so it's so important to kind of look outside the box of what the buyers are looking for. Schools, this is the busiest time of the year, and so keep that in mind. Even though your motivation might be able to move right this second, buyers do have greater motivation. Right. And so if we're not out there marketed, or if we're not on the market being at the right price or the right agent helping you, then you may miss that market.
Right, because if the interest rates increase and the buyers and you're backing off a little bit, what's going to happen later?
Well, you know what happens, and that we do the dance. And then so what happened, Joe over there decides that job transfer, I've got to be up in Pennsylvania now, so I'm dropping my price. Before you know it, Susie over here, they go through a divorce. Now they go from 2 incomes to 1 income, and here's a domino, and then they hammer their price. Now where we listed the property before in our subdivision, we were number 1, number 2, now we're number 3, number 5. And now the next pending sale in your neighborhood is what a reflection of what the buyers are willing to pay. So keep that in mind, guys. We just got an offer with a client yesterday, 2 days on the market. We're with a couple thousand. He said, well, I may ride it out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ride it out. If the numbers are good, if it's getting where you need to be, don't take it. Don't take it for granted. There may not be another offer.
Right.
We've worked so many transactions and we've helped clients, and it's always important to think we want to get more, but sometimes it's important that the old saying, John, your first offer could be your best offer. And remember that the stats and all the numbers that we're kind of going over today, it doesn't always, reflect that, But the longer that you sit on the market, the less likelihood in this market that things are moving and pending at 8%, pretty high rate. If you're sitting on the market for a while, they're going to wonder what's wrong. That's the first question that we have to challenge. We're just working with a client that we just listed recently this year. Believe it or not, in this market, 2 years on the market. 2 years. And they say, well, what's wrong? I say, our biggest challenge in this marketplace is to combat why we've been on the market for 2 years and why we were not able to sell. And there's nothing wrong with the house, but the reality is, the longer that we're not sitting there, if we're not guiding them in the right direction, our property gets stagnant and we get lost in the space. Not only do we not get the other agents in the area to get re-energized with what's going on, buyers watch it too. Buyers are on all the little sites and looking, and they save it and they save this here, but then they don't come look at it. With any kind of marketing or anything we're doing here on the radio is promoting. We've got to drive traffic here. We've got to bring people to us. And you know, if they're not coming through the door, nobody's buying a house, unfortunately, online. I mean, we had a couple.
Yeah.
Couple, but they're investment property. There's not their residence.
Right.
You know, those are investment properties that make sense financially. So things to think about there. Now, April, I think we talked about this a little bit, but according to the Real House Price Index, home prices were adjusted with changes with incomes in states are 32.5% lower than the housing boom peak. So what that is telling you means if you're going to be selling, to maximize now is a true opportunity. But I think no more specifically, don't be discouraged. Let's go, for example, I was thinking about this as we were riding over here. In some of the house, South Knoxville, I'll make it quick. South Knoxville, that market was changing. In just a matter of 12 months to 16 months, we've seen dramatic increases. So markets do go with cycles, but understand that they go in cycles where they repeat, and in time. That's why we're selling the American dream. One of the best things that you can do to raise your family and still in this market make a little money. Every Saturday, 11 o'clock here in the studio, April and I are going to bring the up-to-date information on the real estate market. As always, you can reach us at 865-693-SOLD, ryancoleman.org. And every week, we're here live in the studio. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. We hope to see you next weekend here on Talk Radio.
Thanks for listening.
Take care, guys. Live.
You've been listening to Real Estate with Ryan on Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760 with Ryan Coleman of Hometown Realty. Find Ryan on Facebook at Ryan Coleman Group or online at ryancoleman.org. To contact Ryan by phone, call 865-693-7653. Join us again next week for Real Estate with Ryan on Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760. Talk you can trust. Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760.
Tickle in my throat today. Allergies. Good weather.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well, and thank you for staying with us. Back in the saddle, like anything, a little rusty. I was telling April that yesterday, hadn't been on the air in a while, and you forget to do what you need to do, and kind of make it look. These guys make it look easy over here. They can just talk and talk and talk, and they do it so well. They make it sound so good. So we're always trying, guys. Again, our purpose of our show is always to give you the expert advice here in the marketplace. You know, buying, selling, understanding this marketplace. It's not an easy thing. It could be one of the largest moves you probably ever make. It probably will be one of the moves. And you get nervous. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were chatting about that regarding their situation. They had a bad experience with an agent. They were very, very nervous. And they said, Ryan, I'm just gun shy. You know, I've been in that situation before, that things weren't done right. They were just kind of an agent that just wanted to kind of sit back and let somebody else do the work. And that's always the challenge that we have, is when you've had that bad experience. He was like, Ryan, I had that bad experience with my wife, and that's why I wouldn't get married for 8 years. He said, I ain't doing it. He says, she would say what time I needed to come home, and she would watch my bank account. It was funny. But we were just chatting, you know, guys chatting and having a little conversation. And, you know, I tie that into that, but that's so true in anything that you do. Whether you have that car salesman, accountant, lawyer, contractor, agent, any of those things, mortgage guy, any of those professionals where you don't have a good experience, you're going to get gun shy. You're going to be scared to kind of go back and go through that same process, especially on such a big purchase, right, April? Right. You know, if I'm buying a shirt at Dillard's, I just go take it back. It's really no pressure. But big move like this, everything's on the line. How do you know who to trust? What do you know? We do this every week. We do so much social media and videos. I think April loves the camera coming around. No, we're joking, but it's not what we want to do, but I think we got an obligation. Our obligation is to help. You know, our position, what we do here at Hometown really is not about us. Obviously, it's our business. This is what we do to run it. But we're here about helping people. I always tell them and our customers that we're dealing with and hopefully future clients, look, it's never about us. It's always about what we can do to help you get to where you need to be. We just got a review from a really great client just the other day, and April posted on social media, and she was like, some kind of emoji. She was like, "I love this" or something. I don't know what she's doing. But it basically said that, you know, they found us. We had an opportunity to help them on such a big move. We're patient and kind, did all the things they were supposed to do. But more specifically, what we liked is we treated them like family and the new friends, you know. And that's what we want to have with every client that we can, because we do these shows. We do on 2 different networks. I mean, we're working around the clock on top of a busy real estate firm that we run to give back that information. Probably more specifically, we interview every week. You know, you never know what we're going to say, but I think you see that we're very transparent. I think that you can see we work very, very hard. We're not your average firm. We're not your average agents. We care about what we do. And I think I'm big on first impressions, and a lot of things really come down to business or what you do is go with your gut. Go with what's important and go what makes sense. Hopefully we're giving this to you before we ever call or give us a call. You can interview us. You can see what we're doing, what we're about, and hopefully an opportunity to come over and meet you face to face. I think that's what we want as our business. With any type of marketing, we want to reach out to you and have an opportunity to come see and see how we help. There's a lot of great agents, there's a lot of great companies out there, and you know, we'd be honored for an opportunity to meet with you. It doesn't mean you have to work with us, but we strive to have that opportunity to make you that client for life. So that's what we're about here at Hometown Realty. We specialize in that, we work on that. To recap on this show though, I think more specifically, if you're in the market, we've got some holidays that are coming up. We've got vacations. July is big for holidays. You know, buyers, make sure we're getting pre-qualified. Do your diligence. Make sure that you have your lenders and financial information ready. There's nothing that will stop a deal in the halts by not having your money right. And take your time to get pre-qualified. I know it's exciting to go out there and start looking at houses. You know, Chris will take care of you every Gateway Mortgage, does a great job, takes 15-20 minutes, and now you know exactly what your buying power is. And it helps us get the best deal. And with the multiple offer situations, it actually will probably make, I can't tell you how many offers that we get all the time in our office. And we've got it in big bold print. Give me a pre-approval letter. The agents don't send it for whatever reason. And how can we negotiate on a deal if I don't know you can buy it? And then that's the challenge. So trust me, just doing these little things make a difference. We were talking on our show the other day about buyers. What can you do to actually in this market get your property accepted? And I think we talked about it briefly on the show. But we had a little first-time couple. They were sweet as pie. I mean, we just love them. And they wrote a note. And I think a letter regarding. With pictures, did how sweet. And they had pictures of their family, and there was a dog babies, right? They had dog babies, fur babies. We got some too. So, and they wrote it to the seller, and it separates them from the pack. It makes it more about not numbers, and it's about family and about where they're going to raise their kids, and for years to come. So things like that, little tricks like that I think that are helpful, that are making your property stand out in this crazy market. We are starting to see, I didn't have time to cover this on the show, we are starting to see a decline in some showings. We're starting to see a decline in, we're still getting tons of offers, but we're seeing a decline in showing. What we have to understand, guys, is on the market, if we're not getting showings, we got 8% pending, lack of inventory, it doesn't get any better than this. We need to be more aggressive on our pricing. We need to be looking at the market. We need to see where we can expose it. But a lot of times, there's a large push of inventory, and that pricing point where we were number 1 to 5, now we could have been dropping. And so we're working really hard with our clients on that. But if you're out there in the market and you're thinking about that, understanding what March and April market was versus June, July, and August may be different. And it's so here coming up on the fall season.
And I think sometimes it's hard to see because your home is a great home, but maybe another home came in the vicinity of your home, and maybe it has a little better kitchen than your home. Like maybe your kitchen's a little bit smaller and this one's bigger, and maybe buyers are leaning towards some of those other homes just because of the layout and stuff like that. So it doesn't mean that your home isn't a great home and that it's not going to sell. It's just that maybe other homes have come on the market that has more features that those buyers are looking for. So stick with it, and it's going to happen. Just stay with it.
Well, guys, I appreciate you staying with us. Anything else you can think of, April?
No.
Good show. You have a great weekend. If you need us at all, 865. What is our number?
693-7653.
You got it, or RyanColeman.org. Sold, that's the easy number. I always say best number in real estate, 693-SOLD. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we hope to see you here, right here at Talk Radio next week, 11 o'clock. Oh, hey, stop. Wait up. Don't forget, I mentioned on the show, very, very important, this is going to be big. You know, we got the right, we got the left, we got the middle. Make sure you listen to our show. It's going to be here. We've decided we're going to do it on Talk Radio because this is a show we're doing live every week, 11 o'clock. We're going to promote it everywhere. Periscope, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to hit it heavy on Monday. So 11 o'clock, I want to hear you call in. I want to see you on Facebook. Send me some chats. Where are we at in the market? President Trump, 18 months into the business. New president. We hear all the numbers out there. We're going to analyze those, and more specifically, where we see that coming in 2019, at the end of 2018 and 2020. How has it affected the real estate market? But more specifically, how has it affected Knoxville and the surrounding areas? So we have that here for you. It's going to be a great show. Please make sure you tune in.
And make sure that you call in because we may have some freebies for those who call in. And
I think April's going to be giving away some. It's going to be a good show. We're going to have some giveaways, but I need some input. It's going to be a show about you guys out there. Make sure you call in, go on social media. If you're busy, if you're at the ball game on Saturday, shoot us a message on private message. Post something on our comments. Send me an email. Give us a call, 693-SOLD. Let us know what your questions or topics that we want to cover, and we'll cover it right here in this segment.
Fantastic.
As always, you guys have a great weekend. Hope to see you soon.